and gentlemen, may I have your attention please to the following
What's going on, everybody? It's Ty with the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. It is Thursday at 7 p.m. Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it very much. We got a special show tonight. Master Josh Arcemont is coming on, but we want to make sure that we thank last week's guest, R.L. Semez, Part 2. We waxed poetic, he, Al, and I for a while. We got a little crazy talking about politics, but that's all good. Hey, if you want to tell your story, be sure and reach out. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Hit us up at triplethreatvets@gmail.com every freaking Thursday, 7 p.m. This week, we do have Master Josh Arcemont, as I said. He is actually the owner and proprietor of Hero Martial Arts and Leadership Academy, and he is one of the instructors that has been instructing my son in Taekwondo for about 7 years now. So we'll talk to him, but before we do that, let's get over to Matt and see what he's got going on.
What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday. I'm back. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I had to go to the Big Easy. Shout out to my mother and father-in-law, Emil and Pat, 50 years married. Not a lot of people could say that nowadays. Congratulations to both of them. It was a really good time in New Orleans. Great time to be there. Got to show our kids a lot of the city my wife grew up in. So really good time. So once again, shout out to Emil and Pat. Congratulations on 50 years. Al bounced the whip check, y'all. He's not going to be here this week. It's okay. I think we'll get him out of jail maybe if April says we can. But welcome. It's Thursday. We're here. We're excited to have a very important guest on tonight. I know this is somebody that takes leadership seriously and is dedicated to teaching people. So I'm excited to learn about the journey and hear more about it. But without further ado, I guess, Ty, come on in. I wanna talk to you a little bit about what's going on with you, because if nobody notices, the background's a little bit different for you today, buddy.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm at my father's house in Smithville, Tennessee. My father was a Vietnam era Marine Corps veteran, and I'm at his house in Smithville, Tennessee, and I'm en route to Lynchburg, Tennessee, for the Jack Daniel's World Championship Invitational Cook-Off. And I am going there with JC's good old boys. Tom Clark, Texas Pitmaster, and Jen Lee have invited me to be their tactical dishwasher. So I brought my combat boots and everything. I'm ready to do the thing.
So explain to me, what is a tactical dishwasher? Does that mean you're not going to have a dishwasher? You're going to have to do them by hand and not have all the amenities of life? Is that what tactical means?
I think it just means I do it under the cover of darkness, and I make sure that the dishes are as clean as they can possibly be. Military grade.
Sneaky. Well,
yeah, very sneaky.
Congratulations to Tom and Jen and JC's Good Old Boys barbecue team. They were literally a needle in a haystack. Got picked out of a barrel. They get to go up there, and they're going to go up there and do great things. So good luck to you guys this weekend. I know you're going to do amazing. It's going to be a great time. And don't forget, Ty, if you're at the Jack Daniel's cook-off, me and Al do like to drink Jack Daniel's. I'm putting it out there. Just in case I got some cool stuff there.
If they got cool stuff, I will definitely be bringing it back. It looks like I may be riding a Greyhound back if the flights get canceled on Sunday.
Why would the flights get canceled Sunday?
I'm watching the news talking about TSA agents and things. So just worried about not being able to make my connection back. Got to get back and see my shout out to Sarah and Tatum. I think Tatum's watching. Shout out Tatum. Love you, buddy. He just got back from a cross country meet, and he called me like 10 minutes before. So I told him to make sure he watches the show tonight. He's allowed to watch this one since Master Josh Arcemont's going to be on there.
Yeah. So just rent a car, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Rent a car, Ty is an awesome dishwasher. Yeah, I wash the hell out of some dishes, man. Definitely. I can wash the hell out of some dishes. I can't cook very well. I'm going to be the tactical dishwasher, and then they've also given me an additional duty this year. I'm going to be the escort to turn in. So I'm going to clear the way.
I saw.
Good job, sir.
Yeah, I saw your agenda, and I was like, Ty is turn-in security. Got it. He's
Right.
he's protecting the meat, literally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tatum says hello. There's my beautiful wife, Sarah. Thank you so much for putting up with me for going on this trip and supporting me so much. Appreciate that, baby.
Yeah. Let's go. Well,
yeah. So with that,
I was going to say, without further ado, man, I know that you're going to have fun playing with meat this weekend. Congratulations. You know, it's always a good time to do that, I guess.
Right.
I hope you guys place. I hope you get to walk. I hope that they do amazing. What's up to my brother? He's in the house.
What up, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, you can't call him Mr. Johnson, dude. He's younger than me, bro. You could be like, "What up, Dip?" Never mind, we won't do that. But anyway,
sorry.
I hope they get to walk. I hope you guys get to place, and I hope that you know, they enjoy the experience. You know, is this the first time that they've been in that cook-off?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Matthew. Here's what I'll tell you is. Tom Clark and I have been talking about this for years. I mean, this has been one of his dreams. I had no idea what cook-offs were, what the Texas barbecue culture was, but he introduced it to me way back in 2017 when I got out of the military and I needed a tribe. And there's a reason we wear those barbecue heels, because barbecue does heal. And the preparation that you have to go through with your proteins, with your heat source, you know, with all of your spices and rubs and all the things you're going to do, the meticulous logistics moves that you're going to do. People travel, you know, different continents, different countries. This is literally a world championship. There's teams from all over the world coming to this. So for this to be one of Tom Clark's dreams that he's had for about 8 years, and he said about 7 years ago, I want to go to the Jack, I want to go to the American Royal, and his dream's coming true for this. So I'm just glad to be there to help support him.
Ironically, though, he's going to both in 1 year.
I don't know if is he going to the American Royal this year? I don't know. Okay.
I think so. So if he's not going, I'm sorry. I didn't want to, but I think so. I think he was saying that it's going to be super busy for them because they're going to do this one. They got to turn around. They got to get ready for the next one. I think they are.
Yeah, that's and to see his dreams come true after all the hard work. He's one of the hardest working men I've ever seen in my life. Been in the oil industry his whole life. Yeah, so he's literally one of those guys that if you ask him to, he'll be there. And he's one of the most loyal people on earth. And that's why I love him so much. So for Tom Clark, for your dream coming true, I'm proud of you and happy for you, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So transitioning through, right? Like you're going to one amazing event. And now we get to talk to an amazing individual today that driven, dedicated, mentorship, leadership, all of that stuff drives through everything that he does, especially in the industry that he works in, right, and who he helps. So I would say, without further ado, let's go ahead and make an introduction and get this place.
Well, for usually I type something out, but I just wanted to say from the heart for this introduction. So Master Josh Arcemont, he is owner and proprietor of Hero Martial Arts. He started his his martial arts journey way back in the 80s. I want to say it was around the time Karate Kid. He saw that, started training with a bunch of his friends from school. And his lifelong dream was not just for it to be an activity, not for it to be a hobby. He didn't want it to be a lifestyle. He wanted to go further. He wanted to be a career. So the cadre that he has built at Hero Martial Arts has taught my son and myself, my wife has all taken lessons from these people, Master Faith, Master Jason, Sabadim, Master Alex, and Alan, and all these people I've seen grow in the last 8 years from very young 20s to, nearing 30 years old now. And the path that they're on with their martial arts journey is impressive as hell. And Danielle and Josh are the ones that kind of gave them that azimuth check to get there. So without further ado, let's bring on Josh Arcemont. What's up, brother?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
awesome introduction. I appreciate it, man. That was
for sure.
It's been a fun 8 years working with your son and, getting to know you through the years. So I'm excited to be finally on this podcast.
Finally, You've been asking for a while. I'm gonna have to talk to the booker.
Well, I've been waiting. I'm
gonna have to talk to our booking agent. I think I know him. What's going on?
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is like he is so busy with everything. He's involved with not just his own business, not just his own family. He's also involved with the Martial Arts Industry Association, I think it's called. And so he's helping. We'll get into this more, but he's helping other martial arts business make their business better. And not just in Texas and Florida, all over the country. So just you see that effort from people, and you see the benevolent attitude that he has, and that's why, like, he has carte blanche with me. They can ask me for anything and I'll do it. And I'm not like that with a lot of people, Matt, but this is one of those guys that I am like that with.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, Matt, take over, bro.
No, I was just going to say we're excited to have you. We really appreciate you coming on and taking time. I know that every time I talk to Ty and he's mentioned you, I know that you're a busy man. So we appreciate you coming on. We're excited to learn more about you and your journey. So what we like to do is introduce our guests, our audience, and our listeners, and we like to kind of start from the beginning and allow you to kind of give you a little bit of an introduction to everyone. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? And what was it like for you as a kid is kind of where we start at that point. So if you don't mind, like, just kind of take us through that piece.
Sure. Yeah. So I was born in Minnesota, 1978. A year after I was born,
Great year.
My brother was born a year after that. My dad left when I was 2, and my mom decided to take me and my brother, straight down from Minnesota all the way to Texas by herself. So she moved to Texas by herself in 1980 with me and my brother. Found another guy she started dating and would later marry. He ended up adopting me, which gave me my last name, Arcemont. And then during that time period, he introduced me to ninjas. Ninjas were like 80s, ninjas and Uzis, right? And quicksand, like all the 80s stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, so I was like, man, this is so cool. American Ninja, Ninja Warrior, all these things. And then the Karate Kid came out. And this was the first time I saw, regular people doing martial arts and kids doing martial arts. And that's when it kind of had that light bulb go off in my head, like, well, maybe I can do this, So I started begging my parents to sign me up for karate classes. And back then, karate wasn't like it is now. But now it's like on every corner, you see a karate school on every corner. Back then, you had to really search for a martial arts school. And it was primarily for men. Really, it was like the men from the military brought martial arts back to the United States from the Korean War. And when we fought over there, people like Chuck Norris, brought back the martial arts. And so that's how it was taught. It was very militaristic. It was very, disciplined, structured, a lot of testosterone men in there. And then when the Karate Kid came out, all of a sudden, all these kids flocked to martial arts schools and these instructors didn't know what to do with them. And I was a part of that generation.
Yeah. And so, how old were you at that time?
I would have been like 8 or 9 years old. Yeah.
So you had the Uzis, the ninjas. You're introduced by your dad. What is that only what got you interested in doing it, or is there something else that made you gravitate towards that other than the movie? Is it something that you were thinking about, or?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, for me, I really identified with, I guess Daniel in the movie, being like the new kid in school, I didn't get picked on. It wasn't like I was getting bullied, but I just felt like I needed to find something, to stand out. I was kind of small for my age. Didn't really have, I wasn't into sports, I wasn't playing football or baseball or soccer. And so to me, martial arts was like that one thing, man, if I could learn how to fight, that would be pretty cool. Then I would get respect. Then I would be known and I would have that, I guess, that self-confidence in myself, So I think back when I was a kid, it was more about just wanting to learn how to fight and just feel good about myself and find something that I connected with at that age. Mm-hmm. As I got older, it became something different. As I got older, it was different, and, we can get into that too, but, as a kid, it was just about having fun,
So when you went to your parents or your dad and you were like, all right, I need to go do this karate thing. I want to sign up. We need to find a place. You said it was difficult to find them back then. And where did you guys live in Texas?
Yeah. Great. Okay. So we lived in Houston, A-Leaf.
Okay. A-Leaf. All right.
Yeah.
So it's not like you were in the country. Like if you were in Tyler, Texas, I'd have been like, how far do you have to drive?
Right.
So if you're in Houston, like how hard was it? Did you find one? Once you did find one, being a young kid, because you said that like that is when a lot of young kids went into it. What was it like then, saying you wanted to go do that, not being an adult, not being, grown? Like what was the reception like for you guys going in there?
Yeah, so we found a spot. I don't remember how my parents found, but we found a spot. It was in a strip center, and it was me and 2 other kids. That's it, in the kids class. And it was some like 18, 19-year-old instructor. And there were no bags, there were no mats. There was not a whole lot. It was just like an empty strip center building with some like carpet laid down. And it was me and 2 other kids. And that's it. And so what I remember is doing a lot of forms. We did forms over and over. We didn't spar. We didn't get to play with the weapons. It was a lot of repetition over and over. Honestly, it was boring. Back then, it was kind of boring. And the 2 kids that trained with me, one of them quit. 6 months later, the other one quit. And it was just like me and this instructor. And, I got bored, honestly. And so after 9 months of training, I quit. That was my first experience with martial arts.
He quit when he was a yellow belt, right? You were
I got to orange belt. Yeah, orange belt.
So leading up to that, though, and so forgive me, I am not versed in martial arts, so I'm going to start there. So if I ask a question that's dumb, everybody in the comments can like let it rip, but I'm not going to read them anyway. You already know that, so it doesn't matter. For you being an orange belt from where you started, like what age were you then? Like how long did it take for you to get there? You said it only took you 9 months to get there, so you're like 10 at this point?
Yeah, 9 months, about 10 years old. Yep.
So was there a lead up, like conversations asking like your teacher, like, I want to do more, can we do different stuff? Is it they just didn't know how to do it? Like how did that work?
Well, so we would test. So we would test for a new belt every 3 months or so. You'd test for a new belt or a new stripe. And I remember having to go somewhere else to test. And I remember it was in somewhere in Sugar Land. And it was like, we were part of an organization, and I'm guessing that this young kid was a part of this organization, and they kind of saw an opportunity. Hey, let's open a martial arts school here. We'll have you run it. And, you're on your own over here running that martial arts school with 3 other kids. I don't even know how they stayed afloat, but that's vaguely what I remember is you're just kind of being kind of boring. And I remember telling my parents at the time, like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not what I thought it was,
Yeah,
so
because you signed up to fight, dude. You were like, we're just gonna basically dance in one place. This is not fun.
Yeah, we didn't get to fight. I didn't get to put pads on. There were nothing to hit. We literally, if you know anything about like form, it was just forms for like an hour for 9 months.
So you were hanging out with Mr. Miyagi every day, waxing on and off, and that's it. But he didn't teach you none of the moves for defense, though, right?
Right. I was painting the fence. I was waxing, but I didn't get to do any of the fun stuff.
Oh man.
So yeah. Anyway.
So you quit, and then what happened from when you quit? Like, how long did it take to find something else? Like, what was the journey like after that?
Yeah. So, I was a kid in elementary school. So, I just went from, I tried a bunch of different things. I tried soccer for a while, did that. Wasn't my thing. Tried baseball for a little while, tennis lessons. I did Boy Scouts, got into middle school and tried playing the drums for a while, but like nothing really hit. Nothing was really like, oh man, this is the thing. But like during this time, there's a 5-year time from when I quit as an orange belt to when I started back up again. And during that time, I was changing, I was growing up, I was hitting puberty, I was going into middle school and now high school. And I'm starting to realize like, man, I think this would be really useful for me to learn how to actually fight now, because growing up in A-Leaf, we were in like the nice suburban A-Leaf back then, like in elementary school. And then we went to middle school and things got a little rougher. And then we went to high school and I was at Hastings and it was like, wow, this is like a culture shock. It was different. And there were fights and gangs. And I remember just thinking like, I really need to learn how to fight. I want to learn how to fight. Yeah. And that's what kind of got, and at that same point, it was like 1992, the Bruce Lee story came out. And I had never heard of Bruce Lee, but this was like Jason Scott Lee. This was like that, that story. And that same year, Brandon Lee, his son, was shot and killed filming The Crow.
Yep.
So all of this was kind of coming at me. And I was like, who is this Bruce Lee guy? I got to learn about him. And so I started buying books and reading and buying magazines. And that's when I kind of got reintroduced to martial arts. But now from this philosophy of like Bruce Lee's philosophy, which was like learn martial arts to learn how to actually fight. And his whole thing was like absorb what's useful, throw away what's not, and add to it what's uniquely your own. And he was like, he took all these different martial arts styles from karate, judo, and jiu-jitsu, and he combined them into his own style. And back then, that was like back when he was alive, that was like, you didn't do that.
Yeah,
in his mind, he created something truly American, which was like a melting pot of martial arts. And he came from China. So I was getting into all this and I was reading the philosophy and I was like, I got to get back into this. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. Cause everybody was really mad about him doing that. Right. Because I think I've watched documentaries about Bruce Lee and you've seen his movies, but I remember seeing one of the things where they're talking about, for him, the biggest thing they didn't like is that he was making this thing available to just anyone now. Like he would teach anyone that wanted to know. If you want to know how to do it, I'll show you. And it's like they were trying to keep it like this heavily like guarded thing. Like not anybody can do this. And he was like, why not? Like let anybody. And that, I think, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think watching those is like, that's where they were mad. Not because he was good at it and he was great, but he was trying to make it available to everyone, I think is, if I remember, like they didn't want it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. And the other part was that he was molding styles together. And he was saying, basically, there is like, I don't want any style. I want to have all styles, and they were saying, you can't teach non-Chinese. You can't blend Kung Fu with karate. You just can't do that. So he was really a pioneer and he really ruffled a lot of feathers, And so like he passed away before I was born, but somehow because the movie came out and these documentaries came out around the same time, I was like, I got to learn about this guy.
Yeah.
And so I really bought into this philosophy. And that's when I started reading philosophy and kind of getting into, and I was like, okay, this is more than just fighting, and
so was there a lot more places to choose from 5 years later?
No. So we moved, my parents got me out of A-Leaf when I was 15. They said, we're moving to the country. We're getting out of here. Actually, 2 years before that, we bought some property in Waller, Hockley, Texas, actually. Yeah. And it was 20 acres, just all woods. And so every weekend to kind of keep me out of trouble and keep me out of the inner city, they wanted me to like go out there. We went out there every weekend. We cleared woods, we cleared land. We were cutting down trees, burning trees. And so for 2 years, we kind of cleared this property and finally built a house out there. And I moved out there my sophomore year. And so it was at that place. Now I was in a new school with new kids, didn't know anybody. And I'm this new kid reading a Bruce Lee book in school. And a kid next to me says, hey, you like Bruce Lee? And I was like, yeah, I like Bruce Lee. He's like, well, I do Taekwondo. He goes, you should come to my Taekwondo class. You should come try it out. I've been doing it for a while. I'm a, whatever he was, blue belt. And so one thing led to another. And I was like, well, I didn't really want to do Taekwondo. I wanted to do Kung Fu because that's what Bruce Lee did. But in Waller back then, 1993, that was the only thing you had. Is like if there was a Taekwondo school in Waller, that's it. So I ended up going there, and that started my journey.
Okay, so when you walked into that one, years later, what was the major difference you noticed though? Like from where you were learning before to where you went there, like what was the differences that made you? Did you immediately feel like, yep, I'm glad I'm doing this one, even though it's not what you wanted? Or did you go in there and say like, all right, well, let me go see what this is all about first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did it. I kind of like walking up to the school. I remember hearing people yelling, yeah. And like someone counting and shouting. And it reminded me of Cobra Kai, and I'm like, what the hell have I got myself into? And literally on the doors, there was like a door that opened up and it had a dragon on it. And you open the doors and it said House of Discipline. And it had this dragon breathing fire. And I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? But this kid from school invited me. And so I was like, I'm going to try it because I need to make friends and I want to do this. And so, yeah, I mean, the difference was now I'm 15 years old. You know what I mean? And this kid, Dale's doing it. He's my age. This other kid, Rodney from my school, he's doing it. He's my age. There were a lot of other kids my age. And so I kind of found my, I guess, team sport in a sense, found my tribe, my people. I was like, all right. And so like all throughout high school, it was us training, competing, and we had our thing. And that's kind of what was the big difference between, when I was a kid versus now a teenager, jumping into the martial arts.
So Matt, I'll tell you some of this. He's not going into the entire story, but there's videos of him with his friends out in their backyard kicking, learning the technique, mastering the technique, or not mastering, I guess at that point, but training on the techniques over and over. 1,000 times he would kick this bag, and he videoed this. At what point? Here's the thing I want to ask you before Matt goes any further. At what point did you know, with your activity, hobby, lifestyle, career, at what point did you know that martial arts was going to be your career? And also, could you wax poetic about the activity, hobby, lifestyle, career thing that you talked about in class?
Yeah, well, so sophomore year, I started training. 3 months in, and this will kind of get to answer all that, but 3 months in, my instructor came to me and was like, hey, there's a tournament coming up. It's the Texas State Championship. It happens every year. You can compete. If we think you do well, you should compete. And so I had never done anything like that in my life. I was terrified, but I decided to compete. I went in there and I got first place as a yellow belt, but I got first place. And first time in my life I ever got first place in anything. So I figured, like, man, maybe this is my calling. So I was sold from that day on. And so from sophomore year to my senior year in high school, that's basically all I did. Eat, slept, trained. Like you said, me and my friends, we had a core friend group, and we were just kind of like the martial art guys in school. And this is pre-UFC. This is all the stuff now, kind of pop culture martial arts stuff. This was like back when there's like a mystique about martial arts. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, this guy's, he knows martial arts. And so the funny part of the story is, about a year into my training, my instructor, Master John Cantu, my mom, let's put it this way. My mom and my dad, Ralph Arcemont, they got divorced. And my mom started dating my instructor, Master John Cantu. So I was a junior in high school when they started dating. And he moved in my senior year in high school. And so my martial arts instructor was now like the live-in boyfriend, so to speak. So that was a whole thing. And we can get into that if you want to. But all of this was happening my senior year in high school. And at that same time is in life, people are like, well, what are you going to do after you graduate? You're going to go to college? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And I'm sitting back going, I think I want to be either a PE coach or a school counselor, because I love helping people. I want to I love the idea of being a counselor. And I also thought, a PE coach would be fun. You get to do PE all day and work out. Like, that seems fun. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, what am I talking about here? Like, PE coach, counselor, martial arts. Why don't I just become a martial arts instructor? Like, it's built in. I'm living with one right now. He owns a martial arts school. And, so my senior year in high school is when I decided, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a martial arts instructor. And I'm just going to dedicate myself to that. And I want to be the best instructor I can be. And in order to do that, I got to become the best martial artist I can be. So at 18 years old, that was my mindset, That's when it started. So when you decided to do that, did you go in and tell them, like, you know what, I want to do what you're doing. Tell me how to do that. Did you have that conversation? And if you did, what was his immediate response to you? I think I might know what it is, but Yeah. No, he was happy about it. Every instructor wants a protege. Every instructor wants someone to kind of pass the torch onto and take it further. So, he supported me. My mom supported me in that decision. And so, I was basically just telling them, this is what I want to do. And, that's what I did. I went to college. I went to junior college for a year and a half. So I was going to get a degree in business, but my head was in the clouds. I just couldn't wait to get out of school to go train and go teach. And so a year and a half in, I decided to just drop college, drop that idea and just go learn on the job, go teach and, commit myself full time to teaching martial arts. But so did you go back to him to start your journey there, or did you go somewhere else? I was doing it the whole time. So I lived in Hockley, lived in Waller, and I would drive to Blinn to go to Brenham to go to Blinn. Mm-hmm. I did that for like a year. So I would drive there and come back. At that same time, I tested for my black belt. So I was kind of commuting and testing for my black belt. And then went to Tomball Community College for a little while for the last semester, I think, and then decided to do this full time. I was helping on the side, but it wasn't something I was doing full time yet.
Got it. And so then once you get out of college, now you go back, you're full time there. What was so you were helping, so you obviously knew like kind of how it ran. But how was it now that you're like, I'm doing only this, and you walk in the door? Was it different to get where you thought you were going to be? Was it easier because you had been living it, really? Like you dedicated everything to that. So walk us through, like, now I've decided to do this for my career. This is what I want to do. Yeah. Is it what you thought it was going to be? Was it harder? Was the thing you thought was going to be the easiest, the hardest? You know what I mean? Like, what was the whole roadmap for that?
Yeah, I think it was exactly the way I thought it would be as far as teaching. I always had a knack for teaching and detail, especially when it comes to like technique, and I thought that I could do a good job, helping people understand the art and communicating with people. And I love kids. I love working with kids, always have. So that part came easy. The part that I wasn't expecting to be difficult was the part, working with family, because at this point, my mom and my instructor got married when I was 21. So this was all happening around that time. They got married, and my mom was working at the school. So she ran the front office, and she also taught a cardio at the time, what is it? Taibo kind of class, like a cardio kickboxing class. She taught that.
Billy Blank's DVDs in the book. Like VHS tapes at that point.
But she was also a black belt in Taekwondo as well.
Belt. Yeah. She got her black belt. That's right. I forgot to mention. Yeah. She got into it. She got her black belt. But yeah, so the difficult part was just kind of dealing and working with family. And as time went on, we had some creative differences, let's say. So I had some ways and ideas of ways I wanted to do things. And my stepdad had a different way he wanted to do it. So, but I stayed with him. I worked for him from the age of 18 to 30, 31 years old. So there's a lot that happened in that time. But, ultimately, man, I loved it. I'd never second guessed my decision. I only thought, man, I just want to get better at it, And I never thought about money. I didn't even think like this could be something where I could make a good living. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking of the lifestyle. Like, how cool would it be to be, this martial arts instructor and dedicate my life to training and teaching. And that's all I was really thinking about at a young age. That's it. Yeah.
So if you don't mind, like, there's a lot of people that go into family businesses. There's a lot of people that go to try to do different things, and they encounter obstacles, hurdles, things that are difficult. You kind of alluded to creative differences. It was a little bit different. I'm interested to know from you, from your perspective, when you say it was difficult to work with family, what do you mean by that? And what I'm getting at is not the inside of it. You don't have to give all the detail, but like, now I'm working with family. What was the hardest challenge for you in that? Because you hear all the time, the two people you don't ever want to do business with are friends and family, right? For certain reasons. What was it that you found the most challenging because of that?
There's a couple challenges in there. So when I guess dropped out of college and decided to do this full time, you got to remember, like, back then, this was like we're still in the late 90s, and running a martial arts school wasn't exactly very profitable back then. It wasn't a professional industry. I think we were still charging like $50 a month. We probably had 80 students, not a lot of money. And so they weren't able to pay me a lot of money. And so in kind of exchange for teaching, I lived at my parents' house up until I was 21, which isn't exactly the coolest thing to do, when you're a young adult. But I lived with them. So like, we would go to work, do all this stuff at work. We'd maybe butt heads a little bit creatively on like, I think it should be taught this way. Well, no, I say it's this way. Do what I say. And then we'd come home, and now I'm at home with them. You know what I mean? And then our whole life revolved around competing. We would train kids, and then we would, take them to go compete. We could be going to Dallas, Chicago, Louisiana. So almost every other weekend we're on the road together, driving from place to place, staying in hotels. And so we were like, when I say we weren't just working together. We were like living together, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so that can be a challenge. And I'm 20, 21 years old, you know, I'm a knucklehead a little. I'm sure I was hard to get. I'm sure I was, you know, my prefrontal cortex wasn't developed yet. So I'm sure I was kind of hard to work with too, just being that, you know, young adult who was stubborn.
Right.
So I you know, all of that kind of played into it.
Yeah, trouble finds me. I'm young. Trouble found me. I didn't find it. I didn't go out looking for it. Nobody asked me to get in trouble. It just found me. I promise.
Yeah.
Honestly, right?
That
That's what I
happens.
used to say too. So like, what made you, so obviously, right, you said you're working there, they can't pay you a lot, right? You're living at home, you moved out at 21. So I'm just interested, you know, this is your dream to do this, you're working at that studio. Like, did you have to do other things as well to be able to be on your own? Did you have to work other jobs? Did you have to take other things on? What did you have to do that extended you to be able to still live and pursue this dream? Because, you know, just being at that studio and moving out through what you described, right? Like, it's going to be hard to do just that, right?
Right. Yeah, I took on other jobs. I had some day jobs. I worked at an ice cream store for a while in Tomball. There's an ice cream shop right next to the movie theater. I worked there for like a summer, which doesn't really count. Delivered pizza for Domino's. I did that for a little while. And there was a hardware store, an Ace hardware store in Waller. And I worked there for several years. And I would delivering concrete and delivering sheetrock, you know, so manual labor in the yard type stuff. Until one day I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to devote myself 100% to this. And, you know, my parents had come to me and said, yeah, we're able to pay you a little bit more, you know, but we're going to need you to step up. We're going to need you to be there and really like commit yourself to it. And if you do that, we'll pay you a little bit more. So they did. And even then it wasn't a whole lot of money, you know, but as time went on, you know, we as a family, as a unit, I give all the credit to my stepdad. He was the one who kind of said, we need to professionalize this. You know, if this is going to be a career and we are going to like feed our family off of this, we've got to learn to look at other industries and find out what they're doing in order to be successful and apply that to what we're doing in the martial arts world. So it was around that time that, you know, in the martial arts industry anyway, there was a lot of these high profile martial arts schools that were like putting on seminars and courses on how to be, you know, successful and how to set up your systems and your curriculum and your payments. So we started going to a lot of business seminars, and that's when things really took off. That's when we started to professionalize not only the martial arts side, but the business side. And that's when I got excited, because then I started seeing, oh, I could make money doing this. This is pretty cool, you know?
Maybe I should have stayed in those business classes for another 6 months, you know?
Yeah, but it was so boring. It was so boring back then. It wasn't martial arts business. You know what I mean?
But they're boring until you have to do your P&L, and then you go, oh my God,
yeah,
should have paid attention.
What's a P&L?
I knew I should have paid attention.
Yeah. Even at this time, like I'm still like, I'm not having to do all that. My mom is doing, you know, my mom's doing that. My dad's, they're doing like the back end stuff. You know, I'm still just kind of like the instructor, you know, but I'm learning systems and stuff, you know, and it wasn't until years later when my mom and my martial arts instructor divorced. They got divorced, and she left, and I was kind of left like, I'm still here. I'm still working. You know, this is my dream. I'm not leaving. They may be split, but I'm going to stay here. That I really had to learn how to like run the back end and like really understand the P&Ls and understand you know, all that, the tax and all the stuff that I didn't really understand. And that's when I really grew, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part. You're like, wait, people that just come in the door, do karate and leave and give us money. What do you mean taxes? For what? That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. I was just doing math. I'm like $50 a person, you know, 100 people. Wow. That's a lot of money. You know, I wasn't even thinking about overhead.
Now I got to pay him, pay this rent, got to pay this power bill. You got to get the windows washed. There's a leak in the bathroom. Yeah, dude. It's
leak in the bathroom. That's funny that you say that, Matt.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, go ahead.
No. So at this point, when did you decide to leave I think it's Southside Martial Arts, right? When did you decide to leave Southside Martial Arts and start Hero, the first Hero?
Yeah, the name of that school it's a long name. Southeast Texas Taekwondo Academy. That was the name of the school. It's a long name. And every time I answered the phone, I had to take a big, deep breath. Southeast Texas Taekwondo Academy, can I help you? Like, so I just like years of saying that, I said to myself, if I ever open my own martial arts school, I want one word. I just want it to be one word. Easy to remember. I don't have to say this long sentence. So anyway, it was Southeast Texas Taekwondo Academy, and my parents divorced, and I stuck around, and I said, I told my instructor, I told Master Cantu, I was like, I got into this because I love martial arts. It wasn't because you guys were together. I was here before you guys got together. I'm here. I'm going to be here after. Like this, my first love was martial arts. So I stuck around for a couple of years, but ultimately, man, like what happened was I didn't see a future, man. I was 30 years old. I'm making 40 grand a year. I've just, I'm about to get married, I just proposed to my girlfriend, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what do I have to provide? Like I've been doing this for so long. I'm not making much money. I'd be better off on my own and just doing things my own way, and leading up to this, I had ideas and things I wanted to do that he just wasn't willing to do. And fair enough, it's his business, but I kind of felt like it was our family business, and it was. Up until when my mom left, I guess, and then it wasn't anymore. So
you ruined it. Just kidding.
Yeah. So everything just came to a head. It's like at some point you got to jump out the nest and fly, and so that's what I did. That's kind of what led to it. So 2010 we opened Hero Martial Arts Academy.
So I'm interested, right? We talked to a lot of so this is actually I love that we're about to have this conversation because this kind of goes full circle for a lot of people, right? At this point, how old are you?
30, 31, something like
30,
that.
31 years old, right? So you've been living your life, you've been working in a career for 10 plus years that this is your career, you're moving, you're going. And now you have, like, you're at that pinnacle to make the decision. So we talk to a lot of veterans that do 10 years, 20 years, retire. And when they get out, they're like, nobody wants to give me a job. And they're, complaining. I was there. I did it too. So all you guys, again, stay out of the comments. I'm not going to read them, but whatever. What was your approach to doing this, right? Like you watched him run a business, but did that prepare you to go open your own? Or what are the things that you felt you had to struggle through to get this thing moving on your own? Because you didn't walk out of there and walk into this building and go, we're open, right? Like, right. Can you walk us through what you had to go through to make it, a possibility just for you? Yeah.
So when my parents, when they got divorced, my stepdad went through a period of depression. It was unexpected when she left, without going into a lot of detail. And so he was like, basically threw me the keys and was like, hey, you run the place. I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. And I'm holding the keys like, all right, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. So for like 6 months, I'm running the show, and I'm calling my mom and I'm asking her, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm spinning plates. I'm hiring people. I'm firing people. I'm literally like managing the place. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, this is it. I finally have the school. I can do what I want. And then little by little, he kind of comes out of his, depression, his funk, and he kind of gets back into the business and starts taking responsibilities away from me. And that's when I'm like, once I had that taste, and I knew I had not only the taste for it, but I was like, I was having some success, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't go backwards. I have to go forward.
Yeah.
So for me, that was kind of the catalyst that made that happen. And then I figured, I'm at a point in life where, I can take this chance, I can take a risk, and make this happen. So I did. And, there was a lot that went into that, but, basically opened up a place, the next town over, with all the knowledge and all the things I had learned throughout the years, and took a leap and made it happen. So
there you go.
I don't know if that answers your question, but
did you go like, the thing I'm interested in, because we have a lot of, like, even Bob put on there, do your research, find people, look at business leaders for the future. What was it like for you to get the place? Did you have to go out and the things I'm interested in the most, for me to kind of relate to the people we talked to, making transitions from other things? Did you have to write a business plan? If you did, how'd you struggle through that thing? you had to go talk to people. How'd you get your backing? Like walk people through a little bit about like you had lived it and seen it, but at some point it was already kind of there and you were just running it, right? Now you're having to go out and do this on your own. What were the things, that you struggled through to kind of make that a reality to get the place open is what I would like if you had any of that experience, right? That you had to go through, which we all do when you become an entrepreneur. It sucks, but it's awesome.
Well, first thing was like, okay, we got to figure out how much is this going to cost, right? So I need a place. I need to rent a place out. We got to figure out what is this going to cost? So I kind of put some things down on paper. We need mats. We need computers. We need bags. I need to pay for marketing. I need to push the marketing in the first 3 to 6 months to really, I figured I'm going to need at least 50 students to kind of break even. And so I'm going to have like 3 months of marketing money. So I needed $30,000. That's just, I'll get to the point. I needed $30,000. That's what I figured was enough to get me some mats. I could pay for like 6 months of marketing, and I could pay myself like $500 a month, like nothing, but I could pay myself something. And then it would be on me. So what do? I didn't have any money. I literally had like $3,000 in my checking account. That's all I had. I went to the bank to ask for a business loan, and they said, well, you don't have any collateral. We can't really, you got a business plan. So I wrote a business plan. I understood that part. Like I had a plan. I could show them my pro forma, but they're like, but you don't have anything. Like we can't loan you money. And I went to 3 or 4 banks. They all said no. And so I'm like, damn, man, like, what am I going to do? So I had a student whose dad owned a business. His name was Don Fake. He owned a business in Tomball. And so I reached out to him. I was like, man, Don, I'd love to like take you to lunch and just pick your brain about how you started your business. I'm curious because I'm kind of like thinking about doing my own thing. And he was always really supportive of me. And so we sat down and I told him my plan. I told him what I'd been doing. And he said, man, listen, someone years ago helped me out and I want to help you out. He's like, I don't want to give you the money because, I don't want ownership because this is your thing. He goes, but what I'll do is I'll co-sign on a loan for you. He goes, just don't tell my wife. I said, deal. But I was like, man, I was so blown out, like, tears in my eyes thinking about it. Like, it's just like, so because of him, we went to the bank. I got the $30,000. I got a place to rent. And now I'm terrified that like, oh crap, this isn't just me putting myself out there. Someone else is on the line. And now I got to pay this money back and I got to do it for him too. And I have to do it as fast as possible. So I'm glad you asked that question because I would have glazed over that, but it was because someone believed in me. Yeah. And gave me the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it always goes, right? Like when you get into that entrepreneur spirit, right. And you open that business or you open those doors, like the excitement is like, I'm going to do what I've dreamt to do, and then depending on what industry you go into and depending on what you're doing, you had an instant employee that you had to still keep food on their table, right? Yeah. More than it was more than your family that needed to eat. Now you're also responsible on if this other family's going to eat, right? And that's what you tell people a lot of times about business is like you have to look at the long term of that, right? And it's just too exciting to go do it and start it. You don't think about that stuff, Yeah. But I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad that somebody believed in you because it speaks to what you had done for so many years, right? You showed up every day, you were there, you helped, you mentored, you trained. There's no reason, like they see that drive, right? And that's what it takes. That's awesome. I'm glad that he didn't want to get ownership though. That's cool. That's a good dude.
That is cool, because a lot of people would have, right? They wanted some equity in the business or something.
I'll give you $30,000 for a 49.667% stake in your business. And they're like, sold. I'm on TV.
I don't even know what I would have said. I might have taken it. At that point, I'm like, I gotta find a way. Yeah. I don't know how to get this money.
So were you married at the time that you opened your studio?
Yeah, I got married 2 weeks before.
Oh, wow. So not only are you trying to open a business, you just got married. So walk me through, you're trying to open this martial arts studio. You went out and got a loan because a dude, what's your wife telling you? She's like,
so check
what's going on?
So in preparation for all of this, I had a house. I had this small little house that I had bought for like $60,000 in 2005. So I had a house that I was paying off. It was kind of in the hood, but I had a house. So my idea was like, all right, I'm going to move out of this house. I'm going to rent it out so I can make some extra cash. That'll look good to the banks. You know, I'm thinking, and I'll move into my brother. My brother had just converted his garage into an office because he was starting his company. And so he finally moved out of that office. So basically I moved into his garage. I mean, there was sheetrock. It was like, you know, it was like a little, but it was a garage. So I moved into his garage. All of that was happening when I proposed to my wife. And I had this business plan to open this martial arts school.
So funny.
And literally wasn't working anymore because I had quit. So I was home. I was basically homeless, living in a garage, didn't have a job. And I had this idea of starting a martial arts school, and I proposed, and she said yes.
Wow! Like, you're like, hey, you want to get married and live in my my cousin's garage? It's gonna be great.
Hey,
we can do karate in it. We can do karate in it, dude.
Yeah. So her mom kind of
awesome.
gave me the look like, what's your plan here? You know what I mean? You're marrying this 30-year-old man.
I got it on paper right here for you.
This karate guy. Yeah. So yeah, so we got married, we went on our honeymoon. 2 weeks later, opened my martial arts school, and just like, man, put my nose to the grindstone, was like, I gotta make this happen. I'm gonna do everything I can to like grow this thing as fast as I can.
Nice.
And that's the next part of the story.
so that grind part is there. So I hope I don't go too far in the story.
No.
Did you open it as Hero, or did it change to Hero?
No, I opened it. And so I told you earlier, I was like, hey, I just want one word, right? I want to make this simple. And I want to have like a word that's like, has a positive association. So I was playing with a lot of different, I'm like icon, pinnacle, and I don't know. I was just trying to come up with words. And one day I'm like, I'm hiking. I'm in Colorado, and I'm hiking. I love hiking and being outdoors. And it just hit me. I was like, Hero. Because to me, I'm like, okay, martial arts is sort of like a superpower, you know, in kids' terms, right? It's kind of like if you learn it, you can use it to help people, not only physically, but like you can teach them things beyond the physical. And I'm like, man, okay, so this is the word, Hero, because what I want to do in my school is I want people to come in, train with me, and it's not about me being a hero. It's about me showing them that they can be their own hero. But how do we do that? You got to build confidence. You got to teach discipline. You got to teach self-respect. And we can do that through the training. So to me, it all just kind of clicked. I'm like, that's it. This is it. Hero Martial Arts Academy. So from day one, it's always been Hero.
That's awesome. So you already had it written down. You probably drew the logo. It was on a notebook piece of paper. That's going on the wall right there.
Our logo's three stripes, and body, mind, spirit. And I'll tell you,
I was about to ask, what's the three stripes for? Everything has a meaning.
Body, mind, spirit. Because like in we always had this Korean flag hanging up in our school, my stepdad's school, and like there's the three stripes on one side, there's the half three, and it represents body, mind, spirit. So I was like, I want that, you know, and I want to have a cool logo. So we came up with the three stripes, and it kind of all ties in together.
That's awesome. So for you opening the studio, you're 2 weeks newlywed, opened the studio, got debt. When you opened, so did you take any students with you when you went over? Did people follow you, or did you go in and say, I got to start from the ground up?
Yeah, great question. You see, you're thinking there. Yeah, so this is what happened. I left, right? I quit working 3 months prior to opening Hero, and of course, word got out. You know, Master Josh or whatever is leaving, and he's going to open his own school. So naturally, I had some students follow me. So day one, I think we had like 20 students follow. And that caused some tension between me.
I was about to ask, what was that conversation like?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
I mean, you know, it immediately goes to you stole them. I didn't know.
So I tried to do it the right way. So what I said before I even opened up, I said I bought a big map. I bought a map. Okay, this is before like Google and all that stuff. But I bought a map, and I said, all right, so here's your school right here. Draw a circle. Where's your territory? You know, like old school, like where can I not open up? Like if I open up next to you in this circle, you're going to be pissed. Tell me where. So he drew a circle on the map, and I opened up right on the other side of that circle. Because, you know, I mean, I'm like, I want to tap into this market that I already know. So I did that. And so, yeah, he was kind of upset about it. But the way I looked at it, like, you should be happy for me, man. Like, you know, I'm like, I'm your stepson. Like, this isn't competition. You know what I mean? You want me to be successful. Like, if they want to be with me, it's okay. It's 20 students, they'll come, they'll go, you'll get more students. It's okay. But he was kind of hurt about that. And I mean, I guess I get it to some degree, but what's funny is, so for like 9 years, he didn't talk to me.
Wow.
But he ended up coming back around. We're actually going to have lunch next week. So it came full circle. I think he kind of realized, that there's things more important than just, whatever
Students.
he was holding on to. Yeah. Student. Well, yeah. Business, like whatever. That's going to come and go. But family, Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So you started with 20 and you said you needed to grow to 50 because you felt 50 was the number that would break you even. How long did it take you to get to 50?
Like 3 months, not even that.
Wow.
So what I did was I was the guy putting flyers on people's cars, and
you're the guy that made my windshield turn pink.
Yeah, I was that guy. I signed up. People were coming in. In fact, Mr. Allen, he was one of the kids that came in from one of the flyers I put out there. And then I had a family come in. A dad brought his kid in. He's like, hey, he goes, I'm a mailman. I'm like, okay. He goes, I deliver in this neighborhood over here. It's called Glenlock. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, can we work out a deal? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, don't tell anybody, but like, I can hand out all of your ads. I can deliver them to everybody in that neighborhood for free if you let my kid train for free. I was like,
done.
All right, done. Yeah.
Done.
So for months, he was handing out these, these guest passes or whatever.
What year was that?
That was 2010.
So you were still in a moment where mail marketing still worked too.
Yeah.
Like back in 2010, people still made decisions through like flyers and postcards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you
huge.
told him like, I'd almost pay your kid to come here and do it if you do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah. Because that would have cost a lot of money. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, so that was huge. But I'll tell you the thing that really did it. And this is what I picked up at my parents' school for years. What we were really big on going into the elementary schools and being the guest PE instructor for a day. And we would build a relationship with the local elementary school and help, give back, volunteer, and then kind of pitch this idea of like, hey, we could come in and we'll use the platform of martial arts to get the kids' attention, right? I come in with my black belt, my uniform, we'll do some martial arts. They'll be like, wow. And so that's how we get their attention. But what we're really going to teach them is what we call our brand promise. And this is kind of what our martial arts school is built on. It's basically a guarantee. We say we guarantee, and we have a way to do this. We guarantee we're going to improve your focus, your discipline, your respect, but ultimately, even more than any of those three is your confidence. And so we built this almost like a motivational talk for kids where I would come in, we do some physical training, kind of get them sweating a little bit, get them in that right frame of mind, and then sit them down and just give them some good life lessons, just practical stuff that works at any age. And we could talk to the kids, better than a lot of other speakers could, because that's what we do for a living. We work with kids, a lot of kids. So we started doing that, and that's what opened the floodgates. I mean, dozens of kids would start signing up every time I'd go to a school. And so we started doing that. I was able to pay off that $30,000 loan within like a year and a half.
Wow.
And we got to 200 students in a couple of years, which is like,
well, hold on 1 second. So before you gloss over the going to being the guest PT instructor for the day, can you kind of wax poetic about the interactions that you had with teachers when they would break the board and the confidence even the teachers would show? And then especially for, people like me, when I broke my first board, I was like, and it wasn't a thing. But some people don't have that violence of action in their brain. So for them to break the board, the confidence that you see just permeate through their bodies, wax poetic about what that did.
Yeah. So there's a famous quote by Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon: boards don't hit back. And everybody loves to quote that. And it's true. Boards don't hit back. And I say that because they mean that when they say that, what they're saying is like, that doesn't mean anything. You just broke a board. But what I say is, but punching bags don't hit back either. But you see Mike Tyson hitting punching bags. Like, it's a tool, And so what is the board? How is the board a tool? The board's a tool in many ways. Number one, if you can break a board you know you can at least hit through something that's dense, right? If you can break 2 boards, that's double the power. 3 boards, and so on. So it's kind of a measuring tool to be able to see how much power you have. It's not just power, because I've seen some very strong men try and kick a board in half and can't do it. So like there's technique involved, right? Because you have to have not only power and speed, but technique. So what we do when we go into the schools is at the end of each one of these talks. So imagine I'm talking to all the 5th graders. At the end of this talk, and we're talking about building confidence, what I say, and this is, I think this is so important. This is really built into like what we do. We say, how do you build confidence? You know, like how do you build confidence in someone? And that's when usually I'll bring out like a hula hoop or something, and I'll stand in the hula hoop and I say, listen, everyone has this. This is called your comfort zone in life. And your comfort zone is where you feel comfortable. But here's the thing. If your comfort zone is small, your confidence is small. Like, think about it. If you're only comfortable doing like these things and you don't want to get out of your comfort zone, you're not going to have a lot of confidence. So here's the thing. How do we get out of that comfort zone? You can make yourself get out of it, but in reality, if you don't have the discipline, the way you do it is you need to surround yourself with people who can push you. Coaches, teachers, mentors, martial arts instructors, your parents, but like you need them in your life, because their job is to push you little by little. Because what happens is once you step out of that comfort zone, yeah, you'll feel uncomfortable for a little bit, but you'll acclimate. And then that comfort zone gets bigger, and then your confidence gets bigger. So that's when I pull out the board and I say, listen, so the first challenge I have for all of my students is you got to break a board. It's not about the board. It's not about breaking something. It's about overcoming the 2 things in life that will hold you back. Fear. I got this from Tony Robbins. This isn't me, but the 2 things that'll hold you back: fear and frustration. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of being embarrassed. I'm afraid, or I've tried it and I'm frustrated. It didn't work. I've already done that. It doesn't work. You hear people say this all the time. I already tried that. So this board represents both of those things. You're going to be afraid. You're going to have some fear. You're going to wonder if you can do it, but you may hit that board, and to be honest with you, it doesn't always break the first time you hit it, and it may sting, and you have a choice to make. You either give up or you try. So we have a kid come up and we'll have that child break that board in front of everyone. And sometimes, like you mentioned, we'll do it with the teachers as well. And the whole thing is like, what happens is they go from going, oh, they kind of go, oh, well, that was easier than I thought. And that's the whole lesson. I'm like, yeah, but that's life. Like, we're afraid of things sometimes that we have never even tried. And once we do them, we realize, man, that was easy. And then we unlock that part of our brain that goes, well, I wonder what else I can do. And this is that. So I look at it like a metaphor. We want to unlock the doors in our mind that open new rooms. And that's kind of what we do. We use the board as the metaphor to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think that a lot of times though, when you got like 5th graders and even teachers, right, even grown adults, if you were to walk up to someone, again, remember, forgive me, I'm not like versed in it, but they're like, hey, I want you to break this board. I'm like, I'm not breaking that board. Like, you're thinking like plywood, thick, big, and then when you bring it up, you're like, just try it. And when you break it, you're like, I didn't say I was going to have you break a tree. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just got to do this board. And I think it's mind over matter, right? It's that mindset, because the point you just made is an amazing one for anything that you do, right? So many people are in their mind, and the fear is what gets them, right? And I think a lot of times, in our world where we come from, it's the fear of not being the guy that everybody wants to talk to and everybody looks up to when you walk in the room. That is why they don't push forward and go on, right? Because, again, you spend this career doing these things, and on the tail end of that, when you walk out, there's hundreds of people that when you walk in the door, they're like, what's he going to tell us to do? We got to do what he's going to do. And then when you go home, like, you're sitting in your kitchen and your wife is like, man, get your ass up and go wash those dishes, right? Because that's what you're here to do now. And so now when you look at that, like, oh my God, I can't go out and just affect this right here like I used to. And so that fear, I think, is the biggest. And the frustration, to be honest, I know you tell me what you think. I think the frustration is unwarranted sometimes. Mm-hmm. We think we're frustrated about, I've tried it, and it's not working. But when you really talk to people about, well, then what'd you do? Like, why ask one person? Mm-hmm. Dude, you act like you're out here every day talking to 500 people. You asked one person, you should be frustrated with yourself for not
Right.
asking more people, right? And so I think the frustration is the smoking mirror of the fear, right? The fear is the real indicator. It's
I agree
easy.
with that.
Yeah, it's easy for me to tell everybody nobody likes me, but only one person said they didn't. But I'm just going to say nobody, so that everybody will tell me that I'm right and give me that justification, right? So I like how you frame that, the fear and frustration. I think anybody could take that and go, just drop them both. Like sometimes you got to give in. It's okay.
Yep.
And you're there, right? You're there with them.
Yeah. And you need people. I believe you need people. You need a good support team. You know what I mean? Like you're only like, especially like it's a team. Business is a team sport, but so is life. You know what I mean? And the people you surround yourself with, it matters, man. You know,
100%.
and yeah, and we can lie to ourselves sometimes too and say, I tried my best. You know, I tried my best. I did everything. And you need that person saying, no, you didn't. You know you didn't. Come on, you can do better. And you know, that's it, man. Yeah,
for sure, man. That's
so Josh or Matt, I actually want to change the subject here for a second. I don't want him to gloss over this either. So he talked about his staff there earlier. I can tell you that when I got out of the military in 2017, Tatum started martial arts at Hero in I think 2018. And so we started, and when I would see the kids struggle to break their boards or struggle to do their kicks during their test or whatnot, the staff that he has around him, from, Master Alex to Master Faith to Master Jason, and they weren't masters, they weren't let me digress. Master Josh is a 6th degree Dan in Taekwondo. I also think I think you're a black belt now in Jiu-Jitsu. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. So he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So to see his staff, what they do for children and what they do for the adults, there's also adults in these classes. So there's a lot of my friends, the friends I play basketball with, are black belts through Hero Martial Arts. So talk about your staff just a little bit.
Okay.
And kind of talk about how when you met Faith, when you met Alan, when you met Jason, and a little bit about their stories, if you don't mind, Josh.
Sure. Almost all of my staff, my instructors, my team, were students of mine. They were students of mine. They were either kids when they came in or young adults that stayed, trained, got their black belt. And I inspired them, or convinced them hey, why don't you try this as a martial arts career? And so I had to learn, to be a leader, right? And to it's one thing training martial arts. It's another thing teaching martial arts or anything. It applies to anything. Being good at something is one thing. Teaching it is another. And then the next level is teaching teachers how to teach it, And so that's what I had to learn how to do, was to teach them. And so everybody comes into it with their own personality. But yeah, so Faith, she's been there the longest. I met Faith. She was 9 years old when she started with me, when I was 21, 22, a young adult, she was actually at my parents' wedding when they got married. So she started with me back at the old school. So some of these instructors that, probably none of the listeners really know, but I've known them for some of them 10, 15, 20 years, and they've been with me. And so it's an honor that they believe in me enough to stick with me and say, hey, we believe in you and we believe in the vision and we trust what you got going on and we want to be a part of it. That's just crazy to me that they believe in me that much and they see it. And then I have to keep developing myself as a leader, and grow, because I feel like if you don't continue to develop yourself, you're going to stunt the growth of the people underneath you. And so that's something I'm always working to do, and try to follow my own advice. Get out of your comfort zone, push yourself, and surround yourself with people who are better than you. And, so that's a little bit about the team that I have. And I'm so grateful to have those guys.
Wow. Yeah, I'm grateful to have your team in my life too. I mean, I'm real good friends with Jason. I talk to him quite often, and every time I see Miss Jen and at the front desk and Master Faith, it just makes my heart happy. So it truly is a hero family. And then my wife pointed out that I said you were a 6th Dan. You're a 7th Dan Taekwondo black belt. I'm sorry.
I didn't want to correct. It's just
Well,
no, please. By all stretch of the imagination, correct away here, but correct away.
Do me a favor. Tell for the viewers, how long does it take to become a 7th Dan black belt in Taekwondo?
So, I mean, listen, every system, they have their own way of doing things, honestly. So like it's in our system, minimum of 3 years to get to your first degree, 2 more years to get to your second degree. So that's 5. From second to third, 3 more years. So that's 8. And then, so from third to fourth, it's 4 years, fourth to fifth, it's 5 more years, fifth to sixth, 6 more years, and so on. So, I mean, I started this when I was 15. I can't even do the math. I don't know. 15.
You were at about 24 years when you stopped counting.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow.
18 to 47. I'm 47. Just got my 7.
If you want to get Ty back, you can just go, "Hey, Sergeant, appreciate all the work," and just say Sergeant.
Is that the equivalent?
Mean it. Yeah. That's the equivalent of a demotion there. It's equivalent of a demotion.
Yeah.
I won't do that.
Very true. Very true.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
No, it's all good.
But anyway,
Sometimes
shout out to the hero staff. And I say staff because I was in the military. We call it staff, but it is a cadre. They're a professional group of people. They're some of my favorite people that I deal with on a weekly basis. And I know that Tatum and my wife love them as well. So thank you for that.
Thanks, man.
Well, I don't know if you can tell, but the background's changed. And the reason the background changed is we was talking about how hard it is to get you are in your career. So we're just going to turn the heat up, and Ty's going to ask you a whole bunch of awesome questions that hopefully you'll give some awesome answers to. Talking to you for this little bit of time, I know it's going to be great, but I'm going to jump out and Ty is going to do his thing.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So, in the military, we have values. We have, the acronym leadership: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. If you had to pick one value to be the most important, what would it be?
Just of the ones you provided, or one of my own?
No, any value.
I think integrity is a big one that pops in my head. And I think it's because you got to, like we had alluded to earlier, some people lie to themselves, and I think the first person you should be honest to is yourself. What do you really want out of life? Who do you want to become? How hard are you really trying? Are you willing to put the work in? Honesty with yourself, integrity with yourself, and of course with other people, because without that, you're just a shell of a person. So to me, I think that's one of the most important things. It's one of the things that I can't deal with someone who doesn't have integrity.
I love that answer. And I see you living the integrity every day through your cadre, through the people that work with you, through everything that you do with your family. You're a wonderful family man. We didn't even talk about that at all, but shout out to Danielle, who's a black belt. Shout out to your daughter. I won't say her name, but who's a black belt. And your son, is he a black belt as well?
He's a black belt as well. Yep. The whole family.
There you go. The whole family's black belt. So, okay. 1 hour conversation with one person in history. Who is it, and what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, 1 hour conversation. It's got to be Bruce Lee. I got to take it back to the guy who inspired me. Yeah, I would talk about martial arts and life, and where he saw his vision for what he wanted to create. He died at 32, so he didn't get to fulfill his vision for life, and so. Maybe it's a cliche answer, but it's the first one that popped in my head. And I'm still that kid that idolized that man when I was young. And so that'd be the person I'd want to talk to today.
Yeah, I think Bruce Lee died July 20th, 1973. And I think today his philosophy of Jeet Kune Do is pretty much, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the basis for MMA. So that's a great answer to me. What advice are you giving 12-year-old Josh?
So funny you asked this. It's weird. I was just thinking about this today. And honestly, my answer was like, as I was thinking about this today, I was thinking, I don't know that I would tell him anything because I don't know what he would listen to. Like, I think I had to go through all these things in life. But to give you an answer, I guess if I had to come up with an answer, what would I tell him? If he would listen, stay focused and get started earlier and believe in yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Go for it. Don't quit. Find one thing, find martial arts, and stick with that and start early. And don't second guess yourself. You're going to be amazing. So, it would just all be about self-doubt. Don't doubt yourself.
Sorry, I think I'm muted. What is the biggest mistake that new business owners make?
Business is a team sport. You need a team. Don't do it alone, especially small business. It's an ego trip. They get into small business thinking, I'm going to do this by myself. I don't need anyone else. It's me. It's my vision. I'm going to pull myself up, but it's a team sport. You need staff. You need mentors. You need a system. You need people on your side, lawyers, you need, tax experts. So surround yourself with the right system. And in some cases, maybe you got to buy that mentor. You got to buy that coach who can help you get to that next level, because you want to pay for speed. So for instance, if someone has the system and they have the way to, run a particular business at a high level, let's get in touch with that person so we can speed up the process. Success leaves clues. Follow the clues.
Very nice. We can't say for this question, it can't be Bruce Lee, because I think that's probably our favorite martial artist. Who is your second favorite martial artist, and what is your favorite martial arts movie?
Man, I guess second would be Hoist Gracie. I mean, he changed the game. We didn't even talk about this, but in '93, when I started training Taekwondo, that same year, UFC came out, and this skinny guy in a gi was choking out these 250-pound men that were with muscles, and he showed everybody that technique beats power. And I was just blown away. So my second favorite martial artist would be Hoist Gracie, for what he did to martial arts and got me into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, inspired me to start training. My favorite martial arts movie would be Return of the Dragon. This is the one where Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris fought. I love that movie because it was Bruce Lee's style. Like I don't know if this is true, but it was the movie that he choreographed every fight scene. It was really his DNA on those fight scenes. And so I just was like, man, I don't know. I love that movie as a kid. It's hard for me to watch martial art movies now, to be quite honest, because I see all the flaws. I see like how it's not realistic. But man, that movie from like 1970, I mean, that still holds up in my opinion.
Oh, the final fight scene where Bruce Lee actually, defeats Chuck Norris is epic. It's still in my mind today.
It's legends in there, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's where he never mind. He gained credibility from way before that, but I think that's where mainstream started to notice, oh, Chuck Norris, Bruce, okay. Yep. Great movie. Yep. What's the most unique place on earth you've ever visited?
Man, unique place. Unique. I love hiking. We love traveling and hiking. I love doing, climbing mountains and going to places that I've never been before. I guess the most unique would be a place in Washington State called the Enchantments. I did this hike last year. It's like a 20-mile hike. But what makes it unique is the last mile of the hike, you're climbing, 2,000 feet elevation in like a mile span, which is, if I'm getting this right, it's very steep. So it's this steep hike, and on the way up, you're seeing beautiful lakes. You got this mountainside ahead, and you got goats all around you. But when you make it to the top of the Enchantments, it's like another world. You're standing on like snow. You start off on ground level, but now there's snow everywhere. Ice in the middle of summer. You got ice lakes. It's just amazing. Like you could just stay up there all day and just like walk around. And I don't know. It was the most unique and amazing place I ever went. And then you have goats walking around. I don't know. It was really, really cool.
That's a great answer. We kind of know what drives you in life. I mean, you kind of talked about it the whole show, but what keeps you up at night?
Keeps me up is fear I'm going to run out of time before I'm done. Like I feel like I'm in a hurry to get as much done as I possibly can while I still have, these good years. And so I've got so much I want to do, so much I want to accomplish. I've got big dreams, and I just don't want to run out of time before I finish them. So that would be the thing that keeps me up the most at night.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. Here's the big question. Who's the greatest of all time? Michael Jackson or Prince?
Oh man, it's Michael Jackson. I don't know. I've never been a Prince guy. Why do I think? Man, I idolized Michael Jackson as a kid. I had Michael Jackson toys. When I saw him do the moonwalk for the first time, like that was like, it blew my mind. the music he put out at the time. I just related way more to Michael Jackson than I did Prince. And so for me,
as you can see, Michael Jackson is doing well. I don't think I let the video play all the way through, but Michael Jackson is now at 34 and Prince is at 40. So it is very close.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So do me a favor. Tell me what this video means to you. Now, I love your social media. I love what you and Danielle do all the time. But tell me what that does for you when you guys go out on those team hikes.
Man, I get something. I don't know what it is, but I have to be outdoors. I get this energy. It's a spiritual thing for me. Being outdoors, period. It's huge for me. And of course, being in a place like that was at Banff in National Park in Canada. I mean, of course, that place is amazing. You know, that hike in particular happened a couple months back, and it was a really tough hike, actually. Right after that, there was a huge climb to the top of the summit, and I didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't want to do it. Like, it wasn't fun to do because it was so difficult, but like, I love pushing myself. Because the feeling you get from doing something difficult that you made yourself do, and then you add on top of it that you're in a place and you made it to some place where no one else can go unless they work for it. You can't fly there. There's no escalator. You can't drive there. You have to work for it. That reward at the top of that mountain, or any mountain like that, any place like that, is spiritual, in my opinion.
Appreciate that very much. I totally agree. So at the end, we always ask for an AAR after action review. You've spoken in front of I think Aspire. You've spoken all around the world. Tell me what we can do to make our podcast better.
Oh man, I love your podcast. I'm in no position to tell you guys how you can make it better. I think it's awesome. I love the banter back and forth. I love the hot seat. I have no constructive criticism at this point. I don't know, man. I love it. There's nothing, you don't need to improve on anything. Just keep doing you.
I appreciate it. Sorry. My bad, Matt. Sorry. So we always end every class at Hero Martial Arts with knowledge in the mind, honesty in the heart, and strength in the body. So I appreciate that very much, Josh. You have graduated from the hot seat. Let's bring Matt back in. What'd you think about that, Matt?
That was good, man. I like it. It's really good.
It's hot in here, guys.
I don't know. It's only hot if you feel like it was hot. If you feel like it was hot, it was good. But I think you had some good answers in there, man. You had some good answers.
So now we got the Aurora Borealis behind us, so we can kind of relax. It's it's back down.
And now we can talk about how good we're doing at football picks.
Okay. But yeah, I know.
You didn't want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, Master Josh doesn't do the sports, so I think we're going to let him go. I just want to say thanks so much. You want to give any shout outs to your family there before we leave? Give a shout out to your family.
Yeah, do that. 100%.
Well, shout out to Danielle, my family. She's around here somewhere. I told her, like, hey, I'm going to be on this podcast. So she's around here somewhere. Kinsey, if you're watching, Caden, I'm going to send you the videos. What's up, guys? Love you.
I saw a light go behind you, so I was wondering if she was going to try and scare you.
Got her in the dark. Oh, man. You know what? She might.
Yeah.
There you go. You're welcome. Look, so if this is the point where we depart for now, I can't wait to come up, and I want to come up there one time, and we all should just go break bread and sit down and talk, because I'd love to sit down and talk to you more. I think you're very inspirational for the drive that you have. I want to also just give you an opportunity now. Where are you guys located? How can people get in touch with you? And is there anything you guys have going on now that you're excited about for the future that you want people to know about, so they come be a part of what you guys do to make everyone better?
Yeah, I appreciate that. We've got two locations. We're in Klein. It's Spring, but it's Klein. We're in the Klein area, and then we have another location closer to the Woodlands, Tomball area. We're kind of Klein, Tomball, and the Woodlands meet. So West Rayford and Kirkendall, and then we have 2920 and TC Jester. So if you're in that area, definitely come check us out. We're always just pushing forward. We got a lot of stuff going on all the time. We're really looking to expand in the next year or so, opening a 3rd location. So where's the clown? I just saw your wife ask. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. My wife likes to scare me. She takes this clown with her everywhere she goes and likes to hide it in places. So I know it's around here somewhere. But yeah, as far as martial arts, guys, we'd love to have you out. If you're in the area, come check us out. I'd love to take you up on that offer and break bread and hang out with you guys as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, again, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate hearing your story. Again, just very flattered and impressed with your drive and your determination to make the world better for people, right? We need more people doing what you're doing to give people confidence and let them know that, like, it's okay to take chances. It's okay to get out of your comfort zone and overcome your fears. So thank you for doing that for people. And we tell everybody when they come on, well, you're part of the family now. So when you open the new location, come on back. We'll advertise it. We'll let everybody know where it's at. And awesome. we want to help you guys grow, because what you guys are doing is helping a lot of people. And so I just wanted to say, just thank you for coming on. And it was an honor to hear your story.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Be careful when you go outside. We saw that light. Remember, be careful.
Yeah. I'll check in with you next week after we win this Jack Daniels cook-off. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Master Josh.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Master Josh Arcemont. That was pretty awesome. Literally when you said it during the interview, you go through your life, and every time you walk into a room, people stand up and go to parade rest, and then you get out and you don't have a tribe. To be able to see the way that people react to him, all of his students, all of his cadre, all of the parents, it's such a cool culture to be around. Like, I know we use that word a lot on this show just because of Got Your Six culture, but it is amazing to be around those type of people. Ty, have you seen Bobo? No, I have not seen Bobo, but I have spoken with him, and we're linking up, I think, either tomorrow after he gets off work when I get to Lynchburg, or I think he may come on Saturday for the actual cook-off. So, yeah, I will see Bobo. But yeah, man, I appreciate doing that interview.
Let's go back up in these comments real quick. Not to go back. Okay. What are you talking about? Am I gaining weight, Bob? I've lost weight. Just pay attention. I got a fat beard right now, though, so that's probably the problem. I'm gonna shave it this weekend. I've been told I look like.
Oh man, that beard looks good, man. Beard looks good.
Nah, I told you the other day, bro. I gotta get rid of this thing, dude. I have to skin the cheeks. You know what I'm saying? We'll keep the middle. We got to get rid of the side. But yeah, so good. But no, that was awesome, man. I mean, that's one of those things where I honestly have thought about for a little bit. Cole, like, man, that kid should probably try something MMA wise, like jiu-jitsu or something like that. Just to go train and roll. I think he'd do really good at it. But I think that he would have to be in the right situation. And the one thing that I was going to say about that, and even Sarah alluded to it in her comment about it's an entire culture. You can tell that by the fact that he has students that started with him as kids that are now teaching other students because of the impact that he made on them and the leadership that he displays. We always say in the military, you got to train your replacement. There's no better proof of that than someone who was a young kid like that now wants to make this what they do every day because of what you showed them as a role model. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
you're just mad because Al's not here to mess with. Hey, bro, that's okay though. I love you too, Bob. It's all right. It's okay, Bob. I'll let you slide this time. I'll let you slide this time.
I gotcha.
Al's not here to mess with. That's why,
Sarah says it's the entire hero culture. That's what she loves. Every instructor and all the families and students who lift each other up. Yeah, we're in contact with them all the time, and we're just one family. And I know they do that for like all the families. And I'm friends with so many of the other families from Hero. Like, that's my basketball buddies. The military, right?
Was that absolutely cohesion, right? We all lift each other up. If there's an issue, we help. Like, you go out to do it. Like, that's the thing is, I think that the greatest thing about bringing a guy on like Josh to talk about his story and what he does is to show all of our tribe of people that your tribe isn't gone because you're out. You got to go find a new one. And there's tribes out there that you can be a part of. And here's the thing. This is the thing. I'm spoiled because my tribe is, you know, pretty small, but I have a tribe of military guys that, like, we do this podcast every week. We talk quite often, and we're lucky. You know, my wife keeps me honest and she keeps me moving. And even though I don't like to hear it sometimes, like, you know, she always has the reasoning for what I do. So I'm lucky. But I also have started to realize that it's okay to create a tribe that's not full of military guys, right? Meet people that weren't in the military, right? You're going to find really quick that there's a lot of people that do think just like you, and they have the same values as you, and they look at things the same way as you. Just because you didn't serve doesn't mean that you don't have anyone that you can relate to. Like, again, like Josh said tonight in our thing, get out of your comfort zone and understand that you can meet other people that can help you, you know. And that's one of the things. Like, here recently, we've just met some people that are out there that, you know, when you see them in public, you're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Right. Not that, you know, it's not like, and again, think about it. It's not that somebody that you're going to spend every moment with, but now it's somebody like, oh man, those guys are great. Let's go talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, you start to have those acquaintances of people like you had when you were in too. Not everybody was a tried and true battle buddy, but you had a whole bunch of acquaintances of people that you could talk to all the time. So create that when you get out, right? That it helps you get away from all the haze that's in your brain that's keeping you and holding you back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that whole group helped me with, because I think Master Alex's son was in the military, so there's some military influence there. But a lot of those guys have no idea what the military was about, had no idea when I say I was an EWO or I was a signal guy, they're like, I'm an airline pilot, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. And just to be able to talk about different things other than, you know, like you said, getting out of your comfort zone, accepting other people, you know, and kind of being, like you said, having integrity to go out there and try to meet new people, not just be so staying in the hula hoop, maybe, you know, staying in your comfort zone.
Get out of the hula hoop.
I love all the lessons. Yeah.
That's a catchphrase in itself, man. That guy should tagline that for his studio. Like, get out of the hula hoop. If you don't get out of the hula hoop, you're never gonna know what you're really capable of doing. Right? In order to go forward, you got to get out. You know, I'm stealing
Very
it.
true.
It's mine right now. It's mine.
Speaking of hula hoops, I'm completely stuck in the hula hoop with.
Boy.
I absolutely suck. So
before you go, go back. Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Before you go to that next screen.
Okay.
I got to know how this is treating you right now. Like, how do you feel about this? Because you're legitimately, out of the three of us, you're the sports guy. Mm-hmm. So the fact that, like, you're doing so well, how big is this hula hoop that you're in right now?
My hula hoop is basically like, it's a pinky ring right now. I'm not very comfortable with my picks. I'm usually the one that's winning this kind of thing, and I am losing by at least 5 games. I thought I had a good week last week, and it turns out that all of you guys had great weeks. So as you can see, here's the results, and you and Al both went 6-0 last week.
I gotta catch Al. Hey, you know what? From now on, though, honestly, if we're gonna do picks, Albert, you need to watch this back. You need to text Ty your picks by yourself, because I text my picks first and then he picked his. So Al, you're welcome. That's why you're still in the lead, right? Because I was like, I'm not gonna make it. Here's my picks. Yeah.
So we'll enact that for next week. Everyone has to. And by the way, Al, beforehand.
Al, we don't know your picks, so let's go. No, I think picking live on the show is fine, but we send our picks directly to Ty so that nobody knows what they are. Because I think Al's cheating. You know, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I get it. It's cool.
Al's trying really hard.
He's cheating a lot. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, Dusty, thanks for helping Al with his picks too, because we know it's not all him, dude. You know what I mean?
Is Dusty in the comments, or is he?
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
Text him every week. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know that Dusty's helping him them picks. That dude was good at picking games, you know? Yeah. Or he might.
And then, as you can see, RL, the guest pick from last week, was 3-3, so he did all right. But
you beat somebody.
Yeah, well, All right, on to this week.
Woo!
We have Memphis is on a bye. So we have Notre Dame and NC State.
He's on a bye too. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah,
Memphis on a
absolutely.
bye. Notre Dame. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you my pick. I picked Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm picking Notre Dame too. It's NC State,
All right.
bro.
Okay, Matt. Notre Dame. Okay, LSU and South Carolina.
This one's-
I'll let
this
you
one's-
pick first.
This one's tricky, bro. This one's tricky. This is another same kind of this is another trap that Florida State fell into earlier in the season, right? South Carolina's sneaky, dude. They're sneaky. Is it go back? Is it in where is it at?
No, it's at LSU.
It's in Death Valley.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll take LSU because it's in Death Valley. If they were in South Carolina, I'd really think about it different, but I'm taking LSU.
That's funny that you say that. I thought the same. If they were between the hedges, I was going to be picking South Carolina for the upset, but I also picked LSU. I've got all my picks right here, as a matter of fact. So
Dude, I'm not worried about you ever. I know that you have. I don't ever pick until we get here. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, next one is Texas A&M in Florida. I'll let you go.
Come on, bro. I gotta go with them Aggies, bro. Let's go.
The who? Oh,
Them
okay.
Aggies, bro.
Yeah, I got you. I guess you can guess who I'm going with.
You're gonna take the Gator bait.
Florida.
That's
Yeah.
so
I actually,
horrible.
Florida had a great game last week. I think that they
Sure did.
I think A&M is they're a powerhouse this year, but I'm hoping that Florida pulls the upset. So I'm
bro.
choosing
I was
Florida.
I was so happy Florida won. Sorry, Sierra. She was very mad that I wanted Florida to beat Texas, having a daughter that went to Florida State. But I was like, nah, we need Florida to beat Texas because we just do. And they did. But sorry, Florida, party's over. You're coming to Kyle Field, and the guys there are not wearing orange. They're wearing red because that's called blood. So just get ready.
Yeah, I think they're probably doing a little bit of extra of the pep team or whatever they call that practice this week too. That's going to be a hell of a game. What do you think? Speaking of Florida and Texas last week, what do you think of Arch Manning?
I really
not.
I think he's legit. I think the problem is that they put such a high expectation on him because of his family lineage and the fact that he stayed quiet and stayed on the bench for so long, and he was a good teammate. And it's like they were like, they've got this dude in the incubator. He's going to come out and be like the Tom Brady of college football and kill everybody. He's got such a huge weight on him. It's a lot of distraction, man. It's going to be hard for him to compete there. And he's playing in the SEC, dude. It's a very competitive conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I think he's a legit quarterback. I think he's going to do well. But I do also think because of the high expectation, in my opinion, he might be trying a little bit harder than he needs to be better than good, but almost perfect. You know how that goes, dude. When you're trying to make everything be exactly the way it needs to be, you're not really dialed in. You're not letting it go. You're not living in the moment. You're worried about everything that comes next. I think that might be kind of where he's at.
Yeah, I agree. Even though the play on the field may not be living up to the Manning name at this point, I do believe that the composure that he shows pre and post game, and even during the game when he does throw an interception or fumble or whatever, I think that the composure that he's learned, and also sitting behind for a couple years, and there was a big to do about where he was going to go to college and why didn't he go to Ole Miss, why did he go to Tennessee, went to Texas. So I hope that he does well because, we've always heard that Cooper Manning was the most athletic, before he had his neck injury. So I'm just interested to see Arch Manning do well. I want to see him do well. So for me, I hope he does well. All right. So sure. Did I choose that
except for at the end of the season when they play A&M, I hope he has a horrible game. Sorry.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll give you that one. But
even though you're going to pick Texas that week too.
I'm going to pick Texas that game.
Dude.
All right, UK's on a bye, thank God. We're caught with an albatross of a contract for our head coach and our offensive and defensive coordinator. So I think Stoops is going to be there for a while. But even though it's good, we're definitely not in the basement anymore. We're not doing much better than the basement this year. So thank God we're on a bye. Let's get healthy and come back and do some good stuff next week. All right, my alma mater, EKU and Austin P. It is at EKU. I am picking Austin P.
Really?
Yeah, because we are friggin' terrible this year. Even though it's at home, Austin P. I'm hoping that Austin P. pulls this out because I need a win, and I think you're going to pick EKU.
Oh, no. Yeah. I'm picking Eastern Kentucky. I was like, what are you talking about? We're having an off year. They're doing great. Every time I picked against them, they've screwed me. They're beating Austin P.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got to take chances because I am losing badly. All right, final game. FSU versus Pitt. It is at FSU, at Doak Campbell Stadium. Who you got?
This is always a tough game. They always play each other super close, bro. Pitt and FSU is always hard. I'm going to take Florida State because it's in Tallahassee. Again, this is another game that if they were in Pittsburgh with just a little bit of the bump Florida State's received this year in a couple instances, I would take Pitt. But because it's in Tallahassee, I think they rebound and they get it done. You're muted.
I'm muting because I'm using my headphones and I hear feedback whenever you're talking. Sorry. So I love Pitt. I love the whole culture at Pitt, and I got to choose FSU though because I think they're going to put a couple wins together and then break our hearts at the end of the season. So I'm choosing FSU.
As the Noles do, baby. But here's the thing: the last Florida State game I went to was in Pittsburgh. We went and watched them play Pitt. That stadium's awesome, dude. It's right on the water. It's in the old Steelers Stadium, right on the river. It was so cool, man. It was a good game. Florida State won because they finally figured out how to play football in the fourth quarter, but it was a good game. Cool stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what we got coming up next week. Next week we will have Matt Lyerla. We had him on the 9/11 show where we talked about where we were during 9/11, but we're going to do a full history on Matt Lyerla, Army military police veteran. He is a musician living in Nashville. Right now he's got his own music academy. And I'll tell you, just it was pre-war, pre-9/11, of course, when we were in Kosovo. So we were doing radio shows, myself and an operations sergeant and my cousin, Colonel Jesse Brewster. Shout out Jesse Brewster, West Point graduate. So we were doing a radio show, and then 9/11 happened, and then they asked us to do like a tribute. And so Matt Lyerla and Eric Hawkins came on, and they sang some songs, and it was heartwarming. It was morale lifting, and he went on, got out of the military, and he's a musician in Nashville, and he teaches the Nashville number system. So we're gonna hear his story next week. It's gonna be exciting.
Nice. Can we finally find someone that'll write our intro?
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but I think he is doing that.
Nice.
He did text me and say, "Hey, I want to do this for you." So I wasn't going to say anything. Hopefully, he'll have something next week.
Hey, for all you people that are established artists out there, take some notes. And I'm all talking shit before he even gets it to us, but
Who are you talking shit about?
I can't say their names. We still like them.
I know. I'm just messing with you. But we definitely appreciate you joining us every Thursday at 7 p.m. We are the Triple Threat Vet Podcast, and we're very happy that you be here. We like telling veteran success stories, but if you want to tell your story, hit us up, triplethreatvets@gmail.com. We'll tell your story too. It doesn't have to be military. We like telling all stories. We believe in telling all the good stories, and we like hearing them. So hit us up. Take us out, Matt. Let's do this.
So here's the deal. Everybody out there, when you get on your two knees and pray for the winning lottery ticket tonight, you need to go ahead and just throw them up there for Tom and JC's good old boys this weekend at the Jack Daniels. Good luck to the team. I hope you guys do well. I hope you guys get to show off those banging ass shirts that you're going to wear at the awards ceremony, and just go out there and give them hell, because we know that you guys can do it. I just put it on the screen. Everybody knows what I'm going to say. I say it every time I'm here. We're still selling fucking t-shirts. I think that's going to be the tagline. We sell fucking t-shirts. That's what I'm going to put on there from now on. we're still trying to give money away. Y'all letting Al win. And you know, Al be bouncing WIC checks, his child support check bounce. He's in jail right now. You know what I mean? So, but all seriousness, we're trying to give to veteran nonprofits. Go out there, buy some shirts, help us support them. They're pretty comfortable shirts. I think they're pretty good. I think you'll like them too. And again, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about us. Listen to us when you're driving in the car and you're bored, because that's what happens whenever you get in traffic. And we'll see you guys next week.
If you or someone you know is in crisis, contact the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. Then press 1.